thought I told you niggas once before.
What?
King Leo is the greatest, he gon' fucking soar.
Yeah.
And when one door closes, I'ma open more. I'm like Jordan on a beat when I'm ready to score.
Rap ninja, interested in getting fast figures. A fact spitter with lyrics.
All right. Excuse me. So, looks like the people want to know. The people want this topic to be settled. They want to understand it. So I guess it's that time. It's about that time. Okay, let's get into it. Why is it that so many black youths, why is it that they have such a knack for taking each other's lives? Why is it that, they think it's cool to take each other out and to go to funerals and spray up the funerals of the so-called ops, and this culture of boom, boom, grr, grr, pop, pop, pop. This war culture. I will explain to you exactly why it is the way it is. I'm going to explain to you exactly how it got this bad. So let's take it way back to the days of Black Wall Street. 1921 is when Black Wall Street was attacked, torn down. Black Wall Street was just one example of black prosperity where there was literally no such thing as black on black violence. Literally no such thing. Okay? If there ever was a such thing, it happened so rarely that it didn't even count. It barely even counted as a black on black issue. That's how unified Black America once was. So then you had a bunch of Black Wall Streets. You had Seneca Village, which is now Central Park in New York. You had Lake Lanier, which was once, I can't remember exactly what it was called, but they renamed it Lake Lanier because the whites decided to slaughter the black people that built that place, and then drown the entire place out. They literally flooded the entire place out. These people. See, these are the original savages. The ones that weren't black. The ones that built this country. They are the real savages. But let me stay on track so you could understand this whole thing. We had multiple cases of building communities in cities that ended up either being stolen or burned down to the ground. Okay. Eminent domain was used back in those days a lot when blacks would, whenever they didn't feel like killing blacks and, taking lives, they would just use eminent domain. Eminent domain literally means, you know what? I'm the government and I want to build something over here. You're going to have to pack your stuff and go because I'm building it for the residents of this place that you built, this beautiful, black, prosperous city or town. Okay? I'm the government. You can't do anything about it. I'm more powerful than you. Get out. Leave. That's what eminent domain is. Okay? So this kept happening over and over and over again. And then blacks, and then eventually when blacks would get good jobs, for example, working in the manufacturing plants that used to exist back in, I believe, the 50s and the 60s. They began to move into white neighborhoods because blacks realized a while ago that, hey, they keep tearing down what we build. So maybe it's because they don't, maybe it's because they want us to move in with them. Maybe white people will be okay with us moving into their neighborhoods instead of building our own neighborhoods. You see how blacks kept trying to come up with solutions in order to try to keep a decent livelihood. And then you had a such thing called white flight. White flight ended up happening a whole lot. White people said, oh no, I don't want no black people living in my neighborhood. Oh no. So what ended up happening was these former white towns and cities, they would become ghettos, because the way a ghetto is created is when the city refuses to do the basic work that it takes with the tax dollars that the city gets from the residents working. Okay, so the whites would move somewhere, build it up, make it nice, and then the blacks would move in. The whites would move, and then the same city that would upkeep the streets, upkeep the sidewalks, and the buildings, and keep the grass cut and all that other good stuff, they would just up and stop, because they realized, you know what? Blacks live there. We're not going to do our job as the city. We're not going to do what we're supposed to do because blacks live there. Let them suffer. Let them do it themselves. You see, guys, it's not black people's responsibility to upkeep the streets and the sidewalks and that type. That's not our responsibility. That's what we pay tax dollars for. We pay tax dollars for, for the city to end up, rebuilding the city and keeping it maintained. But once the whites moved out, blacks moved in, the city was no longer maintained. And blacks understood that in the past, hey, look, if we fix this place up, we already know what they're going to do. We already know that they're going to go right back to trying to take away what we built again. We're tired of building stuff that they keep taking away from us, that they keep burning down. We're tired. We're done. So just in case I was wondering, this is also part of the reason why the ghettos were created, because blacks got straight up tired of putting in the effort, tired of putting in the money, tired of putting in the time behind rebuilding and maintaining these communities on their own. We've done it plenty of times, but we found out time and time again, we can't keep nothing, and it ain't our fucking fault. It's their fault, because they were there, once again, the original savages. Okay. So, that would happen. Now we're gonna talk about the gangs and stuff like that. So then as blacks continue to live in these communities, there was a lot of oppression happening. Like you would literally have white cops just out of nowhere coming into these black communities and starting stuff, beating them, allowing their attack dogs to just bite on them. And, they would even bring the freaking firefighters to spray, blacks down with water hoses for 100% no reason. This is straight up bullying. Okay. This is what was happening. So, and this is during the 60s. So, eventually the Black Panther Party was created because of this. The Black Panther, Huey P. Newton said, yo, I'm not going to allow something like this to keep going on. We got to do something about this. So out of pure out of pure will and being tired of being bullied and oppressed, Huey P. Newton and, a couple of his cohorts decided to create the Black Panther Party. The Black Panther Party was never a anti-white group. As a matter of fact, their slogan was power to the people, okay? That's what the actual slogan was, power to the people. It was never power to blacks. It was never power to Africa. It was power to the people. Power to anyone who was being oppressed, period, point blank. It didn't matter what you look like. If you were being oppressed, the Black Panther Party was going to be there for you and protect you, okay? So, Black Panther Party came in, and then you had what's his name? Larry Hoover, the big devil, the big devil, FBI devil. He basically dismantled the Black Panther Party, and he called them terrorists. Despite the fact that everybody knows who the original terrorists are. Everybody knows it. Stop acting like you don't have a mind to think for yourself. Stop acting like that, okay? He dismantled Black Panther Party. And then right after the Black Panther Party was created, you had, what's his name? In California, what's his name? You had Tookie, big Tookie Williams. He created the Crips. The Crips was created as another type of Black Panther Party, just in case y'all didn't know. It wasn't about oppressing blacks. It was about protecting blacks. And then it became, a black on black thing. So then, the gang culture, once you take out the leaders, it's over. Once you take out the leaders of whatever organization it is that you're targeting, it's over. Everybody else is going to run wild and go crazy. So they took out the leader, they took out Tookie. They took him out, and his little gangsters went crazy. They didn't have any leadership, so they started doing what they wanted to, aka robbing each other, because they were already growing up and living in poverty-stricken neighborhoods, gang-infested neighborhoods, drug-infested neighborhoods, and we already know who was bringing the drugs in. Okay, we know who was bringing the drugs in. It wasn't blacks. Okay, it wasn't the blacks. So, I'm going to try to wrap it up, guys, because I'm going to have to get out this library soon. But then hip-hop. The people that run hip-hop, okay, the people that don't look like us, the Jewish people, they decided, you know what? Let's force rappers to make gangster rap. Let's pay millions of dollars for these young black people to create songs talking about taking out their own people that look just like them. And that is the reason why, okay? This is the reason why it became cool for black on black crime to be the way it is. This is it. This is it, guys. This is how it became the way it became. Blacks had it all at one point. We kept building. We kept getting stuff taken away from us, burned down. We kept losing our lives. Okay? And then, eventually, we got tired of constantly trying to put our time and money into rebuilding things. And then the police brutality happened. And then not gentrification, white flight happened. And then the city didn't want to build, keep the city maintained, the city that the blacks started to, live in. They didn't want to keep that maintained. And then drugs were introduced, gangs were introduced. And now this filthy this filthy new version, this filthy non-black version of hip hop was introduced. Now it's just, everybody's just like, you know what? Forget it. It is what it is. If this is how it's going to be, this is how it's going to be. This is officially the mindset of black people nowadays, guys. All of our leaders were taken out. Every last one of our leaders were taken out by the GUN, the bullet of the GUN. Okay. Imagine a bunch of your leaders being taken out if you're not black. We had multiple of them. We had multiple leaders. Multiple. Imagine your leaders being taken out. How would that make you feel? Would that make you feel strong? Would that make you feel like you can take on the world? No. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching. I got to get out of this library. Check out the links in the description. Leave a like. Tell me what you think about this video. Comment. Subscribe. Thank you for watching.
I come from a place that's real scary. Big guns, like military. Real shit, no fairy tale. I possess a shit ton of knowledge. I'm like the holy grail. I was born with high perseverance so that I never fail. They tried to label me crazy and so I hid the pain. Tell 'em. Big pharma selling alternate cocaine. Tell 'em.